like, more power to him. Like, he's going to be able to experience what that's actually kind of like, to kind of have that freedom and kind of run with that. And I think maybe it'll change his perspective a little bit. And I think that's great. Like, I certainly will not. It takes guts to do that, man. It takes guts to, like, you know, as anyone that's ever written something online, you've gotten hammered, and particularly with him that first day, there's racial stuff that came down. It takes guts to do that. And I respect him for that, if perhaps little else.
Has he put up a third post yet?
I think he did one a couple days ago. I think he had another one today. Maybe not. I'm having a hard time catching up. My RSS feeder, you know, it doesn't. I don't use an RSS feeder. I tried to set up there for a second, like, I use my Gopher password.
Right about a commercial.
But I actually don't know it. Use those very much, but I legitimately do think it's cool. Like, I think it's cool that he's doing it, because that's, you know, I mean, I think that, you know, it's funny to think that it was really just 2.5 years ago that you know, he was hired to do that show, and there was this big publicity push about it, and it was like he had like a 2,000 word piece on him in Sports Illustrated about this new voice. I remember this. I think that's when it just started. I was just like, this is amazing to me that, like, they're really playing this straight, as if, like, there's been this large clamoring for Stephen A. Smith to have his own show. And I think that, like, it's good, because I think there was part of that of the Stephen A. Smith has all been kind of packaged a little bit, and all kind of like promotion and pushed in that regard. So I think it's cool for him to, like, you know, frankly, be a little bit more real, and actually, like, have to deal with the stuff that comes down when you do a blog. I think it's cool that he's doing it. Yes, sir.
You're the first internet star. One, do you think that's true?
No.
And then you have to tell me who is. And then two, how does it feel?
It's weird. Someone was nothing makes my soul hurt more than when someone referred to the site as the Perez Hilton of sports. It actually hurts. So I think they had that. I think Ford had one of their once a week, let's get some web traffic and do a list type of thing. And they're like, wait, if we list web celebrities, all link to us, then we'll be rich. We're Forbes. And I think I was like 13 on a list of 30. And again, Perez Hilton was number 1 on that list. So I think if any list that Perez Hilton is at the top of, I'm not sure that's a list I really want to be on. But you know, it's funny because, like, you know, it seems weird. I think also there's kind of this idea that somehow, I or Deadspin is like anti-print, and here comes the movement or so on. Like, I still remember that, like, very awesome feeling of, like, the first time I ever had a story in the Daily Line. I literally, like, stayed up all night waiting for the paper to come, and I couldn't believe it. And they cut off half my name in the byline. And Daily Line, I was known for its good designing. Actually, Ryan, the lead designer for the trip from Page One is a Daily Line guy. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they were like, "Wow, this kid's got a future." But I think that it's weird. But it's not really so weird to me anymore, because, like, you know, I've been writing on the web for a long time, even like long before Deadspin. And in fact, I've written things that are frankly a lot more personal than I do on Deadspin. So I kind of got used to that the time that I went into someone at a party, and they were like, "Oh, you write that Live for the Loser column?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, so how's your dad's work going on in his garage?" That was kind of weird. And so now, like, you know, if you put your name out there, that's why I never understand when people are, like, get upset when people criticize them if they're a writer, or like, how you go after me. Like, seriously, like, you put your name on there, you attach your name to something. When people hammer you, like, it happens. You're in the arena. You know, if you're really that upset about people ripping on you when you're a writer or you're a blogger or so on, you probably should have been a banker or some sort of anonymous job that you didn't have to have your name out there. So I think I kind of enjoy it. I do kind of enjoy the idea of, I write something and people respond to it within seconds. Any writer would love that.
So who's the bigger star than you?
Who's a bigger star than me?
Yeah, you didn't answer my question.
I'm not. Who's a bigger web star than me? Sheesh. I would assume Perez Hilton falls in that regard. And the idea of being a web star is kind of a weird thing anyway. The idea that but one of the nice things about the book coming out is now I think my family finally realizes I don't just email all day. And people get so excited about blogs and blogs, here they come to blogs, and I go back to MedTune and legitimately like nobody has any idea what a blog is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard to get DSL from the antenna in the house. But I think that I try to get too fired up by this stuff because it's all in perspective, and yeah, sure, and maybe in big cities where people are all wired and spend time wasting time at work all day, vlogs are like a big thing. But the rest of the planet, I've done enough radio interviews for the book after the first couple of weeks where they've been like, so you write on the internet? Yeah, I do. But now this is a book. This is a book. Was that weird? Yeah, it's weird seeing paper. And so I think that there's a long way to go before anyone can that's any kind of even Perez Hilton, who has his own show for crying out loud. Not a single person in my hometown has any idea who that guy is. So I think that you can't get really too carried away with that.